kind of harp a little bit on people that are so, you know who they are. They're in these Facebook groups talking about how realtors shouldn't have to do this and shouldn't have to do that. And the thing is, we don't have to, right? I get to show my clients appreciation, right? I get to let the people that mean something to me, the people that have given me a vote of confidence and help and allowed me and my team to help them with the most important transaction of their lives. I get to say, even 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years later, hey, I see you and I appreciate you and I thank you for allowing us to partner with you. And y'all, appreciation goes a long way. Hey friends, I'm Rosemary Lewis, your homegirl, and I'm so excited that you are here. I do not care what it looks like on Instagram or HGTV. This whole being a realtor thing is not for the faint at heart. In 2017, I quit my job as a teacher to follow my real estate dreams and quickly found myself overwhelmed and struggling. Fast forward to today. Not only have I been recognized as one of the leaders in our industry, I have actually grown a business that I absolutely love. I don't care if you're a brand new agent trying to figure out how to get started or a veteran feeling overwhelmed and just stuck. I was just like you and I totally get it. Many times I wish there was someone that I could just talk to about all the challenges I was facing. And that is why I created this space just for you. Like best friends do, I'm giving you all the tea related to navigating and thriving in these real estate streets. If I can do it, guess what? That's proof that you can too. Everything's better with friends, so let's succeed together. Welcome to the Real Estate Bestie Podcast. Hey, besties. Welcome to episode number 58. Where we are going to dive into client appreciation ideas. But y'all, before I get into it, I just want to say thank you to everyone who continues to listen to the podcast. I don't know if this is your very first podcast with Real Estate Bestie or if you have been rocking with us 58 times in a row. Wherever you fall into your experience with us, we just want to say thank you. And I appreciate you so much. If you ever, just kind of want to say, bestie, I'm here for you. Listen, what would warm my heart so much is if you could share the podcast and literally leave a 5-star review. When you leave a review, and goodness, if you actually type a sentence or two, what that does is that it puts us in front of more people, more real estate besties that we can connect and collaborate with. So I am just so excited about that. And I would just love it if you would do that. So listen, let's start talking about client appreciation. This came up because, I don't know, a couple episodes back, I'm going to link it here. We were talking to our homegirl, Nancy Messia, and Nancy is a good friend of mine. She is one of my real life real estate besties. And when I first met Nancy, it was a small networking training or something like that. What mesmerized me, y'all, I probably didn't even have two clients yet, but Nancy was talking about how she would throw these client appreciation events for her clients. And that really, really intrigued me. And I knew that if the good Lord would bless me with somebody, boy, oh boy, would I show appreciation to them, because I just thought that was super idea. Aside from it being a great way to stay in contact, I just thought, how wonderful would it be to have a gathering of people that I have had an opportunity to serve. But I want to break down, y'all, this word appreciation, because I'm going to just give you a little bit of honesty here. It kind of grinds my gears, and this is just me. So understand that what I'm sharing with you is Rosemary's opinion. If you have a different opinion, everybody got one, right? So that is okay if you have a different opinion. But let me just share with you my opinion. I struggle when people say, we should not show appreciation to our clients. We shouldn't give our clients gifts. We shouldn't have events for them because, nobody, I'm not expecting my doctor to show me appreciation for coming there or whatever, all that stuff. And you know what, y'all, I get it. I do understand that for some folks, it is kind of unheard of to show love in that way. But I really want us to think about it, right? And I want us to think about it from a place of abundance. And like, let's just even pretend that we are not talking about clients, like people that we've actually worked for. Like, what harm is it? Or what would it, well, it'll cost you something, but just being nice, right? Like, what a blessing it is to be able to bring anyone together just to say, I appreciate you. And I'm even going to take a second and take some context away from an event and share with you all. Like, I have a friend, Amelia. She was my teacher bestie. So before I had real estate besties, Amelia was one of my teacher besties when I first started teaching in Texas. We both came to the same school at the same time, and we just were kind of joined at the hip. And ever since then, y'all, we are still really good friends. She has sent her mom and them, her sister and them, all the people to me. But even if she hadn't done that, I just love Amelia to death. But there was a pivotal moment in my relationship with Amelia that I will never forget. And she probably does not even know that this comment she made to me changed me. And Amelia, I can't recall, but I want to say that it was either Amelia's husband or her son. And y'all, let me just share with y'all how baller Amelia is. And I'm going to have to post a picture so y'all see her. Her son's name is Fox. Like, you got to be a baller, like a really, really cool girl for you to name your kid Fox. And her daughter's name is Pepper. So like, she's just the coolest thing in the world. So anywho, I can't remember though. Pepper wasn't born yet. It was either Fox or Daniel. One of them were sick and like had gotten better. And about a week later though, I remember that they were sick. And I remember I said to her, I said, Amelia, how is such and such doing? Are they feeling better? And then she paused for a second and she told me, she was like, oh, they took the medicine or, are still on whatever. They're feeling much better. And then she stopped for a second and she said, you know what? I really appreciate you asking me about them. I appreciate that. And that word appreciate, I really, look, I'm from Southside Chicago, right? It's kind of like, thanks for asking, right? That word appreciate, I hadn't been exposed to it in that way. And this may sound very elementary to some of you if you have, but just go with me here. When she said that she appreciated me thinking and asking about her family, it felt so good to be appreciated. And y'all, I have put that in my verbiage. So if you have ever messaged me, if you know me in real life, if we have done business together, 9 times out of 10, at some point, if we've had an exchange, instead of me saying thank you, I'm grateful, I might just be like, you know what, I appreciate you. I appreciate that. And that just it made me feel good just for her to say it. So now I'm going to remove that just saying it to now putting an event around it to show appreciation. Goodness, I just want to sprinkle fairy dust on people and just love them well. So I kind of harp a little bit on people that are so, you know who they are. They're in these Facebook groups talking about how realtors shouldn't have to do this and shouldn't have to do that. And the thing is, we don't have to, right? I get to show my clients appreciation, right? I get to let the people that mean something to me, the people that have given me a vote of confidence and help and allowed me and my team to help them with the most important transaction of their lives. I get to say, even 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years later, hey, I see you and I appreciate you and I thank you for allowing us to partner with you. And y'all, appreciation goes a long way. But let's talk about it though, right? Because sometimes it can feel overwhelming on, okay, where do I even start? Like, at what level does my business have to be in order to have an event? What type of event should I do? How much is it going to cost me? Like, it can go all over the place. And I am here to tell you, I have done things, on a very much larger scale. And I'm going to share with you a lesson that I learned from doing one like that I probably wasn't ready for. It really didn't make sense. And then I've done things a little more casually. And at the end of the day, the people appreciate it all. So let's just talk about it and talk. I want to give you a couple of ideas and a couple of things to think about if you haven't yet to start doing client appreciation events. And then secondly, if you are already doing them, maybe I can just share some ideas of some events that have worked well with my clients, things that I continually have on repeat, and so forth and so forth. So here is the very first thing that I want to say is that number one, it does not cost $1 to show your appreciation. And I'm going to give you like a figurative way. I'm saying this and literally. So, figuratively, you can show like literally picking up the phone and just staying in contact with your clients. You and making sure that you let them know, hey, I appreciated that. I appreciated that tag on Facebook. I'm so grateful that you sent your sister to me. Like sometimes we just miss the mark on the little forms of appreciation that literally cost us nothing, and that is just opening our mouths to say thank you, right? And I'm going to even challenge you to replace just the simple thank you with, hey, I appreciate what you did. I appreciate you calling your cousin and telling them about me. I appreciate you tagging me on Facebook. Something about that word switch, it definitely makes a difference. So that's number one. But number two, there are two also, like if you are not, or even if you think you are not at the level that you can actually have an event, you know what? People will appreciate. One year, I had about 10 clients and I sent 10 ladies $5 Starbucks gift cards. And you would have thought that I bought the whole Starbucks building for them, right? Because they did not expect it. You know, it came to their inbox. $50 is about all I had. But it was just really important to me. I think it was one of the first Mother's Day, maybe, that I was a real estate agent. I wanted to love on my clients, and I sent them the gift cards. And then I sent them a text to say, hey, I sent you this gift card. I just appreciate not only, you being such a wonderful client, but I also appreciate the mom that you are. And voila, like it's still like it meant so much to them. Okay. So those are a couple of ideas of small things that you can do. Now, speaking of small things, I think that sometimes, and maybe social media is a proponent of this, we think that we cannot start to show our appreciation until we have 5 million clients, right? Until we can, buy out the whole movie theater, or until we can have the whole banquet hall, or X, Y, and Z, then there is no point of having an event. And I am going to tell you that that is absolute baloney. Okay. Because the reality is that there might even be an opportunity for you to build those relationships a little deeper when you have a smaller network of clients or referral partners too. Because I want to say that, like, if you have a cousin who po baby can never buy nothing in her life, but every single time somebody mention a realtor, she is talking about you, then I definitely want to include her or somebody like that in me showing appreciation. So if you have just a couple of clients, it's okay to have a couple people out for dinner, or have a wind down Wednesday with a couple of your clients. Or, you know what? Hey, 5 of y'all, like, let's meet at the ice cream shop and we're going to have an ice cream social with you and your kids. Like, it does not have to be a grand number in order for you to show appreciation. And I even loved when Nancy was on the podcast, and I am going to link it. I'll figure out what episode it is before we get off of here. But when Nancy was on the podcast, she even shared that, it's her preference. Nancy sells a lot of real estate. I'm not going to get my girl numbers out here, but trust, she could probably low key fill a stadium if she would want to for a client appreciation event. But she said that she has learned that her preference is to have smaller events. So she may do smaller things where she is only inviting 10 to 20 people, because that's the way that she would like to best connect with them. So I want to point that out to you, because I do think that sometimes we can get caught up in thinking like, if it can't be this big grandiose gesture, then it's actually no point of doing it. And that cannot be further from the truth. Okay. So I want to make sure that you all think through, even if it's a small number that you will be inviting initially, that is okay. Okay. And that is episode with Nancy. That was episode, y'all, number 27. And we talked about creating meaningful relationships and how she does that. And client events are one of the ways. Now, let's talk about the first time I did an event though, okay? Because I'm kind of going back on my word. See, I went back, I did some small things, but it's before or it was after I did this big thing. So I really, this is why I'm kind of sticking on this point on, you know what, it's the effort, and don't get caught up in what everyone else is doing, is because the first client appreciation event that I did, y'all, I feel like looking back, I thought I was hosting a mini wedding reception, okay? And what had happened was is that I was convinced that it needed to look a certain way so that I could have social media cred so that my clients could feel a certain type of way in order for it to be valid. So I hired this event planner. Y'all, you hear what I'm saying to you? I hired an event planner. And at some point, you may need an event planner, but I did not, okay? At the level that I was selling, I did not. We could have went right up to the ice cream shop, right up to the cookie shop. We could have went right over my house and had some mimosas and called it a day. But nonetheless, I hired this event planner. And as we're talking through ideas, I'm thinking to myself, like, this does not feel right. I don't think that this is necessary, right? And she had some great ideas, but all of her great ideas were attached to a dollar amount that, if I'm going to be quite honest, I could not afford to do what it is that we were set out to do. But nonetheless, I had kind of convinced myself, and when you convince yourself of a thing, it's easy to find people who make you believe the same thing. I'd convinced myself that I needed to do it in this way. And I never forget, like 2 days before the event, I was like, but you know what? I don't even think I have enough clients. Like, I feel like this room that I've rented, is going to look empty, whereas if I would have followed my first mind, then I wouldn't have all of the anxiety and things around it. Well, long story short, I spent a whole lot of money. Now my clients felt fabulous. Okay, they felt fabulous. They loved it. Like we set it out. It looks real special on social media. But on the inside, I was kind of kicking myself because I'm not gonna say that I wasn't there yet. That's what it was. I was trying to sprint when I was just like picking up a jog in my business. And that event, I over leveraged myself when I definitely could have done something that made a little bit more sense, and have some sponsors and things like that. It would have made a little bit more sense, and I still would have gotten the same effect. So that's why I'm telling you, like, it's okay. Like, actually, it's probably good that you start off a little bit more conservatively, because you're going to be able to build upon, and build upon your event. And like I say, even now, like sometimes I have larger things, but sometimes I still have the more laid back things for the clients. So let's talk real quick about, first I want to tell you about paying for the event. And then I want to talk to you about some events that have worked well for me. So the very first thing that I'm going to encourage you to do, and everyone is in a different state, is just speak to your CPA, because everything that you might do for an event might not automatically be a tax write-off, okay? Even though it is a client event. Or you just need to just kind of talk through them where you're thinking about spending money, and then they will be able to direct you on what that can look like. Okay. So I want to point that out. If you don't have a CPA, even if you haven't made a dollar, it's not a bad idea. You're self-employed now. You do not know all the tax laws. Definitely talk to, a seasoned agent, a couple of agents in your brokerage, start interviewing people, because before you start spending money on things like this, you do want to know upfront, like, what are you going to be not reimbursed for, but what are you going to be able to write off, what you're not going to be able to write off, so forth and so on. Okay. Now, when it comes to paying for events, I will tell you that I was very, very, very timid in the beginning to look for sponsors, because I didn't feel like I wanted to beg nobody to do nothing for my clients, right? Or I was just scared. I was scared of them telling me no, when in hindsight, it needed to be the other way around, right? Because as real estate agents, y'all, what typically happens is that we are a referral source for those that we are in partnership with, right? So we are a referral source for our lenders. We are a referral source for the roofer, and we're a referral source for the title companies and so forth and so on. So it's okay to have conversations with those companies or with those people that you're working with there. And I don't call and say, hey, I want to have a client appreciation event. Can you donate? I say, hey, you know what? Here, I'm working on my list of events that we're going to support events that I'm going to host, so to support our mutual clients this year. And I would love it if you would be able to be one of our highlighted sponsors. And then, of course, as always, I will highlight your business, your company, you and your family are welcome to come to the event. So just let me know how you would like to participate, right? And for those that I'm even in more rapport with, I actually give them a number like, hey, I need you to do this for our clients, right? I use that verbiage. And then I will be honest and say, if you have someone who does not, now make sure you're following the rules. Again, check with your local board on what is and is not appropriate or allowed. I have had people in the past that, if they don't want to contribute to our clients, then that might be an opportunity for me to look for somebody different to be in complete partnership with, right? Because this is a part of us being in partnership together, is making sure that we are taking care of our clients. And one of the ways that we continue to get these referrals is by showing our appreciation. So don't be afraid to ask, okay? But also do understand that there probably will be a monetary investment from you, because if you're first starting out and you only did one deal with the title company, they're probably not going to put $500 towards your happy hour, okay? Because you haven't shown that loyalty to them yet. So again, that's why I want you to look and see, okay, what is your budget? What are you able to do? And trust me, the people are going to appreciate it, right? They are going to appreciate you showing some appreciation. And you may be starting off with $5 gift cards, but then you may, find rev up into an actual all-out event. So definitely don't be afraid to ask and get some sponsors to help you with the event, but using that verbiage, hey, this is what we're doing for our clients. Now, here's the next thing that I want to talk to you about are some of the events that I love that have gone well, and some that I probably wouldn't do again. So the only one that I think that I wouldn't do again was that full-blown wedding reception that I threw. Yeah, it was a little bit over the top in terms of, like, I put it to you like this. I spent a lot of money on stuff that, number one, I couldn't write off, like a lot of this decor stuff that wasn't branded and things like that. And then just things like, gourmet cake pops and, all these, like, it was just, I just went too far, where I have gotten the same bang for my buck in terms of great time with clients in a relaxed atmosphere, like hosting a happy hour. Okay. So the only thing that I can truly say that I probably won't do that again, that was when I like rented out this space, and I just went too far. I probably would rent out a space and do some of the things, but just not in the way. Like I'm smarter now in terms of like what I would have. I've talked to my CPA, what can I write off, what, even if I use it for the appreciation event, what could technically be advertising and all that stuff. So I would just go about it differently. And more than anything, if I have that feeling in my gut when I was talking to that event planner that I probably don't need to do all this, I'm going to follow my gut. Now, let's talk about the things that have been a hit, because there have been some hits around here. Okay. One thing that has been a hit, something that I have done recently, was muffins and mimosas. Y'all, so I did a muffins and mimosas event. I've actually done it more than once. And generally, that one is geared towards women that I've worked with. Most recently, I did it for clients and ladies in my neighborhood. And it really was, well, the last one, I had a neighbor help me, and she is just the hostess with the mostest. But for the most part, it's like show up with some muffins, show up with some mimosas, have a fun little game. It's almost like a girls' night bridal shower, but in the middle of the day. And again, it allows like those clients that, they closed houses 3-4 years ago and now they have a new baby, or now, they lost 30 pounds, or now, just whatever has happened in their life. It gives me an opportunity to get back in front of them, for us to connect, for us to kiki laugh. And yes, I want them to invite a friend so we get to all know each other. So I like muffins and mimosas. Something else that I have done, and is this a theme of alcohol? Homegirl happy hour. So my clients, I'm y'all's real estate bestie, But for my clients, they know me as their homegirl for life because I want to be literally the literal person who they go to for homes, but also figuratively, like, you know how your homegirl is just available for you, like a bestie, right? Like you can talk about anything, you can get resources for them, you can ask their advice. That's what I want to do. So we have homegirl happy hour. I do it at least once a year. And again, we pick a local restaurant. I like to choose a restaurant that is locally owned, like a small business, so we can highlight a small business in the area. I typically go in and ask them, hey, what is a slower day, like a Tuesday or a Thursday? And then we negotiate something for some appetizers. We negotiate, some drink tickets. I get somebody to help sponsor it. And literally, I'm showing up to hang out. It's not a whole lot of pomp and circumstance. It literally is a fun happy hour, right? I've done it on Taco Tuesday. I've done it at a hamburger joint. I've done it at a New Orleans themed restaurant. And it has always been just a really, really great thing to do with the clients. And one thing that I noticed my clients really like about it, they really love the local restaurant piece because sometimes it's a hidden gem that they otherwise wouldn't have known about. So now I'm highlighting a local restaurant. I'm showing myself to be an expert of the area, and connecting them with each other. And that's something else too. I like client appreciation events, especially if you are in an area where you have a lot of transplants. It is a great opportunity to connect clients with each other, especially like, hey, I have all five of y'all over here live in Melissa, Texas. Or, hey, you need to meet Brittany because Brittany has a son the same age as your little Caleb. So this is one of the reasons why I love it. And something like Homegirl Happy Hour is a great place for us to talk and move around and connect. Okay. Two other ones. Let me give you two other ones that we like to do that aren't quite as social, but they have been hits with my clients. And the first one is, or the third one, because, well, the first of the last two, is renting out a movie theater. We just recently did this. This is the second year in a row we've done it. This year we rented out the movie theater to see Little Mermaid. And y'all, my heart just melted. Like all my little girls came with their mermaid outfits. They had on the purple makeup. And it was really easy. Like, and that's the thing. I like events where I don't have to, like that wedding reception. I literally felt like I was like making favors like 3 weeks in advance, where a lot of the things that really make the best impact are these normal everyday activities, but it's on you this time for your clients, and they really appreciate it. So we rented out the movie theater for Little Mermaid. We had amazing sponsors that helped us do it. This one really was minimal out of pocket for our team, but it has such a great impact, right? And, our clients were posting on the internet and they were sharing. We have amazing real estate agents who love us and support us, and they took us to see this fabulous movie, and it really is laid back. And y'all, it really probably is, like, these events are probably much cheaper than you think they are on average. I probably don't spend $500 out of my pocket on these, right? It's not because my sponsors are coming up with $10,000. Okay. So that's something else. Like, once you just really call and see what the prices are, you might actually be like, oh, that's a good idea. Okay. So Little Mermaid, renting out the movie theater, that was amazing. And then here is one I do every year. Clients love it. And that is complimentary family photos during the holidays. So I typically work with my photographer. We pick a venue. I'm going to suggest that you do a venue indoors, at least for the time of year that I do it, because the weather can be so unpredictable. I want something that's easy parking. I want something that my clients can zip in and zip out. They're not going to be, walking a mile to get to the place in the park where we're doing the pictures. So we will rent out like a photo studio or something in order to do it. Photographers there, it usually goes over 2 days. Maybe you'll have to go 3 here soon. And we just literally just do 15-minute increments, mini sessions for families. And it is so fun. I get into the pictures with not their family picture, but it gives me an opportunity to get in pictures with them. I keep the pictures that I get into with them. I love it when they send me their Christmas cards, and their Christmas cards have the family photos. And it truly is just such a great, cool client appreciation event. And it's taking something off your plate, right? So you think about, oh, I meant to go see that movie, but I just haven't had time. Or I want to book pictures and haven't done it. Or we haven't had a date night. Oh, look, it's homegirl happy hour, right? So just thinking outside of the box of what are some things that we can do just to say, hey, I appreciate you, and we don't have to, go ballroom dancing in order to do it. So I hope this was helpful for you, just to help you start thinking through. And y'all, literally, remember what I started with. If client appreciation event starts with just the words, hey, I appreciate you. I appreciate you thinking of me. I appreciate your vote of confidence. I appreciate being your real estate agent. That is a wonderful start. And then you can gradually work your way up there. So if this episode was helpful to you in any way, go ahead and do me a favor. Screenshot it, post it on your social media, tag me, and let me know. Like, are you going to do any of these client appreciation ideas, or are you going to do something else? Either way, besties, you know that I am always, always rooting for you, and cannot wait to talk to you next week. If you enjoyed this episode and you have a real life bestie that you think it would resonate with, y'all, do me a favor. Go ahead and hit that share button, because you know what? We are better together. Make sure you share the podcast, and I appreciate your reviews. I appreciate you giving me 5 stars more than you know. I'll talk to you next week.